Not really. No, it's I live in Fort Worth, Texas, which is Barnett Shale. All that stuff's happening there, and I did a short documentary about a 70-something-year-old woman who is having the majority of her property taken by eminent domain, so a private company, not a public company, can run oil lines through her yard. And it made me really mad, and I thought I'd want to kill somebody if that happened to my grandmother, which I wouldn't really do that, obviously, so I made a movie about it instead.
Other questions back there? Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to thank everyone. You did a wonderful job, and these 3 young actors, good job. Excellent.
Yeah.
That was it. Just great job. That's a great question.
Yeah, I have another question. I forget the title of the assisted living guy that was selling shrooms, but where did that story come from? If the writer, director's down there, I don't remember.
That's a true story.
Really?
That's a writer for a magazine in Texas that you've heard of, that I won't name. That actually did that, and he's a friend. He lives here in Austin. And he told me that story. He basically wanted my magic mushrooms, didn't have any idea where to go to do so, and just got an address. And then when he shows up there, I mean, down to he opens the door with no shirt on, and then opens the door again having put a tank top on with still in his underwear. And so yeah, it just kind of immediately jumped out to me as such a bizarre circumstance and such a surprising thing that it would really work for a short.
Where'd you find that actor that played the older gentleman? I thought he was fantastic.
Derek is actually here. If you want to wave.
Yeah, where is he? Yeah.
Yeah, we auditioned a number of older men. He actually came through our producer, Tanya Scher, who knew him through the Rotary Club, I think. But Derek has acted in a bunch of stuff around town for a long time. He's really fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is an open question for anybody who wants to answer it, but I've been curious to hear if anybody had an experience where they're an early stage of the process, whether it was the initial draft or initial conception, to when you were filming, if there was a breakthrough moment where something dramatic changed, whether it was plot or something to do, and what that journey was. I don't know if that happened at all for any of you guys.
Well, I want to thank Ashley Spillers and Dan Hirschberger
Yeah.
during the film. I actually had a really interesting moment with them on set. Dan offered to live on the set of the production, and he lived on our location for like 8 days. And we were kind of chasing down the ending of the film, not necessarily the tape thing, but like what is said in that conversation. And we've been rehearsing and sharing like who these people are for a long time, but like the words just couldn't find themselves on the paper. And so I had both of them write letters to each other about what they would really say if they could put everything out there on the table. And from those 2 letters that they wrote as the characters, they finally, literally like probably 4 hours before we shot that scene, we wrote it finally. And I think it's mostly like subtext. They kind of just needed to find the details of those feelings, but it was pretty stressful. I don't recommend doing that. But anyway.
So Hannah and the bros, you guys have a chance to answer that question about any changes, significant changes from.
Yeah, sure. Well, we had an extremely long process of making our movie. It took about 3 years, and so there wasn't really a pivotal epiphany, but it was a 3-year process of completely changing everything over and over again, just because it was taking so long and it got kind of boring to just keep looking at the same thing for 3 years. So, I mean, the original version, I think and thank God it took 3 years, because this ending would have been terrible. But the Tumbleweed made it to some like East Coast port town and became like a longshoreman or something like that.